So, how can you know when is a good time to buy a home in the Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Chapel Hill area of North Carolina? For example, what if right after you buy, the market goes down? How can you time it perfectly so you don't get burned? Is that even possible? What is the best strategy to time your home purchase? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Mike Regan. Before I get into real estate, I was a process improvement consultant and the author of 2 books on the subject. Then, as a top producing real estate agent, I was blessed to personally sell over 750 homes in my 17-year career. Now, as the founder and CEO of Relevate Real Estate, I lead our agents and support team in continuous projects to improve the residential real estate process for our buyer and seller clients. People ask me all the time, what's happening with the market? What I can tell them is what happened in the market recently. And while that's very interesting information, what really matters and what people really want to know when they ask that question is, what's going to happen in the market? The right answer to that question is, no one knows about the short term within the next 3 years or so. And if they really think they do, they should be quiet and invest their money and become a billionaire. But the rest of us, all of us, can learn from observing the long and consistent history of what has been happening for over 50 years in the local and national housing market. And it looks like this. Here is a graph since 2004 of our local MLS area, which includes Wake and all surrounding counties, which in turn includes the cities of Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Cary, and towns such as Wake Forest, Garner, Holly Springs, Fuquay-Varina, Pittsboro, Wendell, Rolesville, Knightdale, Hillsborough, Carboro, and a half dozen other smaller municipalities. In most of the United States, home prices have been predictably increasing forever, with a few exceptions, and you can see why they called it the Great Recession. Even then, home prices recovered nationally within 7 years. These graphs show that if history continues as it has over the past 50 years, the value of almost every home will increase, even over a fairly short time span, even if there are some short-lived downturns along the way. And consider also that interest rates during most of this long increase in home prices were 5 or 6 or even 10 or 20% like in the 70s, yet home prices continued to rise. But what about our area, the Triangle region of North Carolina? We can analyze our local situation using the concept that determines the price of everything: supply versus demand. When the supply of homes is greater than the demand for homes, sellers compete with each other and the prices go down. This is called a buyer's market. When the demand for homes is greater than the supply, buyers compete for homes, and as a result, prices go up. This is called a seller's market. We realtors have a way of measuring in real time whether we're experiencing a buyer's or a seller's market, and it's called months supply of inventory. Basically, this means if buyers keep buying at the current rate, how many months would it take them to purchase all of the currently available homes for sale? If that number is more than 6, it is considered a buyer's market. If that number is less than 6, it's considered a seller's market. Here is what that number has looked like in the Triangle for the past 10 years. When an area is experiencing a seller's market, and anything less than 2 months is considered a strong seller's market, prices increase, and the lower the month's supply of inventory, the faster those prices increase. That's been happening for over a decade in the Triangle, and it's likely to continue for a long time because of our basic macroeconomic situation. First, let's talk about local supply. As they say, God isn't making any more land. Our area has been highly ranked as a desirable place to live for at least 40 years, and during all that time, builders have been buying up land and building homes, which is a good strategy for them whenever demand for homes exceeds supply. However, there's only a fixed supply of land. Most of the available land close to downtown has already been built on, except for infill projects, which happens when a longtime landowner finally decides to sell. Therefore, most home building is happening further and further away from the cities, for example, in Rolesville, Wendell, and Fuquay-Varina. But even in those areas, the demand for housing is still very strong. Now let's look at local demand. The Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Cary area has always ranked among the best places to live in the United States, which means the best place to live in the world. Starting over 30 years ago, when Money Magazine rated us the #1 place to live in the US. We're currently ranked #4 overall by Money Magazine, and our rankings have stayed strong since then. As a matter of fact, within the past year, we've been ranked the #1 place for veterans to call home, the #2 place for remote working, the #4 place for economic well-being, and the second safest city in the United States. People from all over the United States know about our area and want to to move here. So we know the demand for homes in the Triangle is strong and will very likely remain strong for all these same reasons. So, given all that information, what is the best strategy to time your Raleigh area home buying decision? Well, here's what I tell our clients about buying in the Triangle. Unless we have a worldwide economic meltdown, or unless the local supply and demand situation changes dramatically, buying a home in the Triangle, as long as you plan to hold it for a few years, is very likely to be an excellent investment, no matter when you buy. And because the market always seems to go back up, buying in a dip when everybody else is scared is likely to generate extra appreciation within a fairly short time period. As Warren Buffett often says, when others are scared, I get greedy. When others are greedy, I get scared. And furthermore, even if there is another economic meltdown, our area, the Triangle region of North Carolina, for all the reasons I listed earlier, is likely to be the last impacted and the first to recover. If you felt this video was helpful, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified whenever we publish more content like this. Also, please write your thoughts or questions in the comment section below and I'll reply as soon as possible. So listen, Relevate Real Estate isn't right for everyone. But if you're thinking about selling or buying, or you know someone who is, we're never too busy for you or your referrals to your family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. If you already know a Relevate agent, just give them a call and they'll be happy to help. If you don't already have a relationship with one of our agents, or if you live in an area where Relevate isn't yet, just send an email to me at mike@relevate.life and I'll be glad to introduce you to one of our best agents or a great agent from our network in your area of the country.